You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You showed me how to spread my wings.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is Tuesday. Yes. Another day at the Plan to Prosper show, helping our entrepreneurs, business owners, 9 to 5, hobbyists, nonprofit, faith-based dreamers. We are really thriving in 2023. Can you believe already one quarter has passed us and we are in quarter 2? Yes. And guess what? We have met our goals. Yes. I think that's fantastic when you can say quarter 1, check it out. Great. And we have this because of Pod TV, making sure that we are on the air every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Martin Lee, the producer of the show. I am so happy that he is doing all the groundbreaking innovative things to make this show what it is today. And that you are benefiting from that. We have had some great speakers quarter 1, and it can only get better. Our show is dedicated to bringing great topics, great tips and tools that you can use, great speakers that you can take something away as soon as the show is over with. So we just encourage you to tell other people about it. You know, we're in 200 countries. So if you know someone that, and say we're in North Carolina, you know somebody in California, let them know 7 o'clock Eastern Time, beyond. But there's so many different ways you can find us: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Roku TV, and Fire, Amazon. We have our app. You can go to the App Store, download us, Sharon Campbell Solution Group. Put the app on your phone. You do not want to miss any of this. Most important, reach out to us and say, you know, I need help with this in quarter 2. You don't, a closed hand, fist, they say, can't receive. And a closed mouth cannot get you to your profit. So this quarter 2, open up and talk to people, ask for help, show up over and over again, and do not label people. Say, well, I don't think they can help me. When you start judging, you do not know who that person may know that can get you where you want to go. We really need to work with that. We come up and we discount people so quickly that we think about, she don't know anything about it. The way she dressed, she show up at the show and she ain't got a lot of makeup on, a lot of hair, a lot of nails. She's so casual. And then you discount that person. And you're like, shoot, it's 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Do I need to be dressed from the head to the toe? Or do you want me laid back? Because the most important thing is it's here. I deliver the information you need in order to get you what you need, which is more money in the bank. And so today we have a special guest, Miss Mia Ela. Mia It's about branding. Yes. If you want to brand your company, if you want your website to, if you want your marketing stuff to move to the next level, if you want to be able to reach other people than just in your service area, in your state, if you're saying, I just seem like I cannot make that extra zero behind my money. I'm stuck. Branding is one of the keys. Branding is one of the keys to success. It is. And sometimes it's the little tweaks that you need to do that makes it different. Don't discount people because you think they may not know what you want without having a conversation with them. Then number two, pay people what they asked you for. Think about it this way. How will you feel if I am asking you for your service and I say, that's too much. I ain't paying that person that much money. I don't think they know all of that. They just need this little piece right here. You wouldn't feel that good. You'd be like, no, I charge $300 to do this. And then I come around to, that's nothing more for them, $75. No. Is the price $300? Pay the $300 and hold the person accountable. We got to get out that framework about free. We're going to show up, get what we think, and then we're going to Google it and try to make it work. And then we're going to try to sell it again in order for it to make a profit. And you keep going on and on. We don't have to worry about that. And with Mia, she's going to talk to you about some great tips and tools to use. But most important, I want you to reach out to her and have a more in-depth conversation about your company and what it is that you own. So Mark, let's bring up Mia. Hey Mia, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Miss Sharon. How are you?
Fantastic. We are so excited to hear about you. So you know what? I'm going to step back because the audience is ready. They have their writing pad and they have their technology for you to teach them on branding.
Awesome. Well, I am excited on tonight. First, let me just say thank you for the invitation to share with you and to share with your plan to prosper audience. I am truly honored and consider it a privilege to be able to just share some tips and tricks of the trade on tonight. And I'll try to make it fun in the process if I can. As Miss Sharon Campbell mentioned, my name is Mia Ely. I am the CEO, President, Chief Designer for the Masters Touch Graphic Arts and Design Studios. We are a one-stop shop. We do everything in multimedia, from brand awareness to your invitations for your wedding. So from the tippy top, whether it's a multi-million-dollar commercial or a tribute video for retirement for grandpa, we do it all from A to Z and everything in between. And just thank you again for allowing me to come on tonight and share. And I do have some slides. If we have some time, hopefully at the end of it all, we can maybe have a Q&A.
Go your slides.
All right. I'm going to try to keep up. I think I have a little bit of a delay, but we will make it work. Okay. And so this information is something that I shared a couple of years ago with the IBM Business Expo, but the content and the information in the meat and gravy is still relevant today just as much as it was yesterday. And back then when I presented this, I talked about floppy disk versus the cloud mentality. But tonight I wanted to talk about the analog mentality versus AI. We know AI is big right now, right? And
Right.
so we're gonna talk a little bit about using some effective marketing strategies and tools to grab clientele that's diverse, and then also retaining that clientele base. And we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. And I want to thank Mr. Lee for supporting us with the presentation on tonight. Next slide, please. And before we get started, just wanted to also let you know that you can reach me via 855-52 Design You. And also just want to connect with you all with other fellow graphic artists or web developers out there, and let me know how you are thriving and surviving in this economic climate. I didn't put my email address there, but I'll put that in the chat if I can. You can also reach out to me at email@themastersstudios.com, or you can reach me at the toll-free number there, which equates to 855-523-3744. We'll go to the next slide. And before we get into some fun things, just want to share a little bit about who we are. As I mentioned before, I've shared with your audience before, Ms. Sharon, that we are a national brand serving a global market, and I'm so excited to share that we have another client who is serving on an international basis. So we're very, very excited about that. We signed them on as of last month. And so we have clientele that ranges from the age of 18 to 80 years old. And we are serving mom and pop storefronts all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Next slide, please. And our motto, of course, is quality over quantity. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later in our presentation. We live by that. All right. And so, again, what we hope to gain today on tonight is to talk about some key growth strategies, and then also some approaches to maintaining repeat business, and then identifying those ways to track and forecast trends. Because we know in a technological world, it's fast paced. It's always changing, and we gotta keep up. We gotta stay ahead. All right, next slide. All right. And so I like how Ms. Sharon said that everyone out there has their pen and pad. And so I didn't become a teacher. I went to school a little bit in an effort or an endeavor to become a music teacher. I did want to be a music teacher at one point. So education is near and dear to my heart. So we do have sort of a quiz tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I've got a little trivia game for us, for the audience. Miss Sharon, I want you to play along with me.
Okay.
So I just got a few questions for us.
Oh.
This is about business branding. And I know, Miss Sharon, I know you're going to ace this. And if you're wondering, yes, I know all the answers, because, the teacher wouldn't give a quiz, without knowing the answer. So yes, but
okay.
Mr. Lee, we'll go on to the next.
Do not Google. Everybody out there, don't Google this.
Thank you for saying that. No Googling. No Googling. We know Google is our friend. But first question, though. First question. What is the number 2 search engine in the world?
Okay.
You take a stab at it?
I think number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah, YouTube.
You would be correct. YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. And if you're anything like me, Google is my best friend. And if I don't want to read about it on Google, my next best thing is I want to go watch a video about it on YouTube, on how to anything from cooking steaks to learning how to do arts and crafts. Google, YouTube. Those are my go-tos. So you did. You got that point right. You got number 2 right. Mm-hmm. All right, next slide. All right. Which of these is not is not a famous brand slogan? Number 1, just do it. Number 2, because you're worth it. Number 3, belong somewhere. Or number 4, eat fresh.
Okay, audience. Y'all had to key something in so I could see. Number 3. Someone said number 3 on Facebook. Number 3.
Okay. Is that your answer too, Miss Sharon?
If I had to say it, it's between 3 and 2. 3 and 2. 3. I have somebody say number 4.
Okay. All right.
3, 2, 4.
These are good guesses. Well, I will go like this. Number 1, just do it. We all know it's Nike, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. And because you're worth it is actually L'Oreal.
I feel okay. So okay.
Yeah.
Belong somewhere. Oh wow.
It's a beauty brand.
Uh-huh.
And then eat fresh. Number 4 is Subway. Eat fresh. And number 3, that's the wrong slogan. It's actually Airbnb, and their slogan is actually belong anywhere. Instead of belong somewhere, it's belong anywhere.
Okay. Well, someone out there said the right answer, belong somewhere. Okay.
Anywhere.
That's okay. Right. Good. Okay, great.
Good guesses. Good guesses, though. All right, next slide. All right. The first Instagram photo featured what animal? Number 1, a kitten. Number 2, a puppy. Number 3, a dog. It's kind of a trick question because a puppy is a dog, but you know.
And this is Instagram.
Instagram, yes, ma'am. Their very first photo.
Kitten.
I thought kitten too, Miss Sharon. I did. The answer is actually number 3. It was a rescue dog. Yes, ma'am. And they posted the photo not to market anything. It was just posted up there as a test, which was their very first photo that was featured on Instagram. So yes, ma'am. All right, next slide. And Mr. Lee, are you giving us answers from
He put puppy. He put puppy. Yep. Puppy.
Okay. That's good guess though. All right, and this one's my favorite question. We look at Google, we look at that logo every day, and without going out there right now, what color is the L in the word Google? You know it. Mr. Lee said he's playing along and doing horrible. You're doing fine. You're doing good.
What is Google L? What color?
What color? Surprisingly, I got this one right before I looked it up.
Well, I haven't. So, all
right.
I thought Google is all in white, but it may not be.
Right. The background is right. Yes, ma'am. Each letter has a different color, and the L.
It does. Oh wow.
Yes, ma'am.
The color is orange. If I had to guess, I'd probably say green.
It's green.
I can't believe it.
It's green. It's green. That was a good guess, though.
Oh wow.
We got one more question in the trivia game. Next slide.
Okay.
And so this one might be easy, might be a little harder for some. All right. Can you name these 20 famous brands from top to bottom?
The first one is Pepsi. Going straight down. Are we going straight down?
Sure, you can do that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hardee's, Wendy's, Krispy Kreme.
One of my favorite ones.
Let's come back to that one.
All right, we'll come back to that one.
Okay, the one with the bow tie. I'm thinking about Dairy Cream. Probably wrong. Sweet tomatoes. I'm doing horrible. Mark, help me.
Mr. Lee said ponytail girls, Wendy's.
Look, I don't know what that spoon is. I don't know what the other. Quaker Oats. Starbucks. Kentucky Fried Chicken. And that is it. So you can tell I do not go to fast food places.
That's fine. That's fine. You know, and I maybe I shouldn't tell it myself, because I was gonna say I surprisingly got them right. You know, when I
so please tell us what they are, because like I said, I do not freaking fast food places, so I'm at a disadvantage.
That's good. That's actually good though. But this is gonna drive home my point a little later on. So we're gonna start at the very first row. So we have Pepsi. We got that right. The second on the top row is Pringles. That's the little Pringles. Then we have Quaker Oats. And then we have Lay's potato chips. That's the first row. And then the second row, we have Hardee's, Del Monte. They do like tomatoes and pasta sauce and things like that. The second one next to Del Monte is Papa John's. And then the last one on the second row is In-N-Out Burger. I don't know if anybody on the East Coast here knows what In-N-Out Burger is, but I love it. It's very popular on the West Coast. I wish they had one here in Virginia. Then on the third row, Wendy's. Mr. Lee called it the ponytail girl. Next to Wendy's is Arby's. Then we have Starbucks. Next to Starbucks is Dairy Queen. That's Dairy Queen right there.
I knew there's a Dairy Queen in here. I couldn't figure out which one. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And then on our fourth row, we have Krispy Kreme. I believe you said that. You got that right.
Pizza Hut.
The spoon. The spoon actually is Betty Crocker.
Betty Crocker.
Next to Betty Crocker is Doritos. Then we have KFC. Then on our last row is Panera Bread, Sprite, Burger King, and Oscar Mayer.
Is that Panera Bread?
That's Panera Bread.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, ma'am. And that one actually is my favorite, because I've signed up for that SIP club and the rewards program. They have a very good SIP club. I'm gonna shout out Panera Bread right now. And so one of my points was gonna be the fact that I, when I was, looking up these trivia questions, the fact that I got all of these right, I said either I eat out too much, or these companies have truly invested their marketing dollars correctly and have very good, effective marketing campaigns. So I'm going to agree that maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe I do eat out a little bit too much, and that their campaigns have been very effective with branding. And so that's one of the things we want to talk about tonight, is being known, and just the fact, because we see the golden arches, we see the Nike swoosh, we see the now popular Amazon, we see that symbol, and we know exactly what it is without the word Amazon even being on the side of the truck. And so we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. But I think you did good, Miss Sharon. You did good.
My goodness. You know what? It tells you something. Their branding is either stick to it, because you go there a lot, and they have branded in such a way you can say, okay, I know what it is. Okay, I like that. Okay, I like
that. Absolutely. But before we talk a little bit more about branding, I wanted to get back to our subject, which is the analog versus AI mentality. And this is going to help us figure out, where we've been, where we are, and where we want to be. And so we'll go to the next slide. And we're looking at a 40-year difference here. I'm looking at, from 1980 to where we are now, 2023. And I apologize to the audience if there's a delay, because it's slow to turn on my end.
It's okay.
All right, there we go. And so to be analog is that Rolodex corporate culture. Who out there remembers or even knows what a Rolodex is? I'm waiting for answers. Like can see anyone. But the Rolodex corporate culture is all about the paper trail. It's about the click and save.
Okay.
We had heavier federal regulations back there in the 80s. The rise of the computer industry was evident. And then also female entrepreneurship was on the rise as well.
Okay.
Next slide. Mr. Lee said he had a Rolodex. I did too, up until about a few years ago, actually.
Now you have a digital Rolodex.
Absolutely.
Which is this here.
There you go, that AI mentality. And we'll go ahead to the next slide, Mr. Lee.
Mm-hmm.
He says it's buried in the closet. Okay. Mr. Lee's responses, can y'all, because he is cracking me up.
I see that. Oh,
he's cracking me up. And so the AI, a lot of us are falling in love with it because, it's all about working smarter and not harder with AI. AI not only works for us, sometimes AI thinks for us. And, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later, but we want to be careful with that, with not thinking, basically. And so with the Autobot corporate culture, it's about the autosave. We have more women who are business owners, which, Ms. Sharon, you are an accomplished business owner yourself. And so, again, we have smart devices that work for us, our smartphones, we have smart TVs, our washer and dryers, and now even our refrigerators in our cars are smart. We have cars now that can drive us home if we just punch in, or even we don't have to punch it in anymore. We can just talk to our cars and say, "Take me home," and our cars take us home. And of course, teleworking is on the rise, and it seems like it changes from day to day. People are being there's a mandate to come back to the office, so from week to week, it's changing. But teleworking definitely has been on the rise the past 3 years. And we'll go ahead and go to the next slide.
Well, Mark said I had just a smart wash machine in my apartment. Oh wow, smart wash machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're smart. You can program them, and you can preload the
detergent.
All that good stuff. I hadn't quite figured out how to connect it to the smartphone, but my washing machine does that as well. So I'll let you know how that goes. Mr. Lee is cracking me up, but the owner might not be smart. Maybe I should have said that out loud, but okay. All right. So the question that I do have tonight, why be smart when our devices can be smart for us? Next slide. And so earlier we talked a little bit about AI, not just doing things for us, but thinking for us. And so I want us to kind of shift gears, get in a mindset, and think about, or analyze, I should say, what we think versus what we know. We'll go to the next slide.
I'm glad you said that. What you think versus what you know.
What we know.
That is when you said it's like I'm thinking about people that they're like they think something and you're like, but you don't know that. You're thinking it, but as you listen to that person, you know they don't know. But they're thinking it and they think they know. But as you listen to them, they don't know.
That's it. And that's one thing I'm glad you pointed that out, is because one thing in business and being a business owner, it's good and it's great to have mentors, but at the end of the day, you really have to do what's right for you and what's right for your business. I always say, listen to your gut. Think for yourself, but also listen to your gut and do what feels right for you and do what feels right for your business. And don't be so fast to act. Sometimes, it's good to research. Like we said, Google is our friend. YouTube is our friend. Even Bing is our friend. We won't leave Bing out. Do your research, do your homework. It's always best to measure twice, cut once. especially when you're talking about investing into your business, investing those marketing dollars. You just want to make sure that you're doing, um, putting that money or allocating that money in the right places that it's going to benefit you and you're going to have the biggest return on your investments. So, like you said, listen to people, but sometimes you can tell that they don't know.
Yeah, I use this example to so many people. It's like you want to go after a $300,000 client, but
Mhm.
your income is only $50,000. And when you listen to what the $300 client is saying, you are thinking in your mind, "Oh, I could Google that and give it what they want." But as the $300 client is talking to you, they know that what you're thinking is, I need money, and they have the ability to pay me this amount of money.
Mhm.
And that person is like, okay, what I'm saying and what I'm hearing from you are two different things. So I caution people about that, because when you start building your business, say, well, I want to go off the people that have this type of income up here. But if you don't have the skill set, when you are talking to them and they're talking about one issue and you have not been exposed to that, you can't fluff your way through that.
That's true.
So, so thinking and knowing is two different things, and that's when you also have to say, okay, let me get back with you. You don't have to give an answer to every question someone asks you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sleep on it. Take time.
There you go. Be
Say
smart.
never down a duck go can be a friend with a, even Donald Ducks can be a friend with a smile.
I like that. Use that.
Yeah, I have had so many clients have came back and say, I just couldn't close the deal. And then when we start talking about who and what that, and looking at that person profile, you know,
Mhm.
you have to find the right way to explain to them that that person knew that you could, that the level of what they needed you didn't have,
That's true.
especially if they talk about goal setting and you talking about generic goal setting, and
Mm.
they're talking about goal setting to move them from 300,000 to a half a million within 2 years. But you were talking about these little goal setting. They're like, I already did all that. I'm talking about this big time goal setting. How
Yeah.
to how do I set goals that's so big that's going to generate me this extra $200,000?
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Communication is key, and be honest. Like you said, if you can't foot the bill, if you don't have the skill set for something, and we're going to talk about that later as well. If you can't be a problem solver, um, be a resource. And I'm getting into my own presentation here, but
Okay. Let me get back. Let me get
but you're,
back.
but you're absolutely right. And I said this earlier. Quality over quantity. You don't always have to say yes. If you we can't be so so you should have definitely a hunger, a passion, a drive for your business, because that's going to help sustain you. We're going to talk about some other things that help sustain you in your business, but you definitely have to have that drive and that hunger. But remember, quality over quantity. And also be a lifelong learner. If you don't know today, if you don't have that skill set
What
today,
did you say? Say it.
be a lifelong learner. That's the teacher in me coming up. Be a lifelong learner, because even if you don't have that skill set today, you can start learning today. Don't put off, you know, tomorrow what you can do today. You can start learning today. And like you said, don't fluff yourself up so much to the point where you back yourself into a corner and you can't deliver on what a client is asking for you, because you didn't have the skill set. But again, if you don't have the skill set, know how to get the job done, even if it's not you doing the job. Which that's where networking comes in as well,
And
building those relationships.
I'm glad you said that. That's another point. I was having a conversation with someone. I met them at this event, and I really thought that everything they told me about their company, I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, this person got their stuff together. So when I follow up with them, because I was thinking about people that I can help them get in the door with,
Mhm.
because their presentation was great. to find out they did not have the EIN number, they did not have the article of incorporation, they did not have a bank account. And I'm just like, whoa, why do you have a website? You have not even set your structure up. And I'm like, wait a minute. You have, now I see why people are not hiring you, because they turn around and Google Secretary of State and they can't find you.
Wow.
And I'm saying, and I said to them, I said, you got to build a foundation first.
That's it.
Okay. And you're talking about setting up as an LLC, but then at the same time, you say you have all these partners that's going to get a piece of each of the contracts. I said, that's a partnership contract. That's not an LLC. And then the more and more I talked with the person, I was like, wow. And I said to the person, I said, let me help you. Stop. Take that website down.
There you go.
And let's build the foundation. Get all your partners together. There's about 3 or 4 of them. And allow me to talk to y'all. Even if you don't use my service, at least you have the basic.
There you go.
They wouldn't even take me up on it.
Oh, wow.
But you know why? Because they didn't want the partners to know they didn't know what they was doing.
Oh, wow.
And that is so sad.
Wow. So they had people in business with them. Yeah. They had people in business with them that didn't even know the whole scope of what was going on. So the lesson here is help yourself before you can help anyone else.
Thank you.
And that was good advice. Take that website down. You're not ready.
You're not ready. And I'm just like, wait a minute. I'm getting ready to introduce you to someone. The possibility they may give you a small grant, and they ask you to send over your EIN and stuff like that. What are you going to tell them? You don't have it. And then when they say upload, when you do a government contracts, you're going to upload that article in organization. Right. You're going to upload, you're going to give them that government information. You're going to give them the EIN number. They're going to want the paper.
That's it. And let me tell you something else. IRS is cracking down. So if you are in business for yourself, hear me. If you are in business for yourself, do it the right way, okay? You do not want IRS or any other government official knocking on your door or knocking in your email. Do it the right way. If you don't hear anything else I say tonight, go and get you an EIN number, articles of corporation, get established. Yes, you're going to pay some business taxes, okay? Okay, let me. So,
but that's part of branding yourself, because you know what? That's part of branding.
It is.
If you walk out the door branding yourself the wrong way, trying to undo that, oh wow, it's
hard to come back from.
It's a hot mess.
It's hard to come back from, because as you know, yes, you are a business. You are the face of your company. Whether you are an online business or a storefront, you are the face of your business. And so, going back to the whole being official, the days of doing things under the table are over. Government, IRS, they are cracking down. When it comes to those business taxes, I was going to say, just try to, especially if you're a startup, I'll put it like this. If you're a startup, you're a new entrepreneur, you've got your business plan, you have your goal, your 3-year, 5-year, 10-year plan, it's good to connect and align yourself with a good accountant that can help you with those business, expenses and learning how to write off things. And you might have to do that at first in the beginning, but eventually you'll get to a point where you won't have to write off so much, and those business taxes won't hurt as bad, but there's definitely, credits in there that'll help you and things, but that also comes with aligning yourself with the right people who have the knowledge, who have the resources to help you, when it, tax time, my parents will tell you, I'm the first one to go get my taxes done. In January, people are scrambling now. I think the deadline is what, April 18th. People are scrambling to get their taxes. I done put my stuff in already because I'm like, yes, let me get my return. Yes, I have to pay some business taxes, but I'm able to get something back, because I've had to learn, throughout the years, throughout the 12 months, what to do so that I can get some money back, and that even when I do have to pay those business taxes, it doesn't hurt as much, but again, that comes with
the art of doing business,
learning, and sometimes we have to learn the hard way, but don't let those business taxes discourage you, but do it the right way. If I can encourage you, do it the right way. Be official, because it will also help you not just with other organizations and your credibility, but it'll also help you with grant funding and things like that. So
it helps you with branding, because it will show that you are taking your money, branding your business, making more money so you can pay those taxes.
There it is.
Because if you think that you're going to keep all your money, that's it.
That's it.
Let's go to your next slide. We can get on that. Any more slides?
Yes, he said any more slides. There are. I'm sorry. I don't know how we're doing on time, but we can go.
We're doing good. Go ahead.
All right. So yes, thinking versus knowing. Recognize that your clientele portfolio is not always going to be the same. Again, whether you're a virtual or digital clientele, or if it's a storefront. Be sure that you are listening, that you have visions, that you goal set, and that you implement. Follow through. And then even after the completion of work, assess your work and make sure that your clientele is satisfied with your quality of work. Remember, quality over quantity. Next slide. Ms. Sharon, we can talk about that tax piece all day, in the business branding and the funding.
All day.
That's another show. But yes, ma'am, work smart. Do your research. Next slide. And so the reason I stuck these in here is because, it's 2023. And my question is, what were to happen to you and your clientele base if another major pandemic hit? And so, we talked earlier about the analog versus AI, how AI not just works for us sometimes, but we allow it to think for us. And so, I'm trying to encourage our entrepreneurs, our hobbyists, or our startup businesses, that we have to think calculators and watches. Meaning, if the power goes out and all you have in your house are digital clocks, okay, you still have to know how to tell time on an analog watch, right? Because you're going to know what time of day it is.
Right.
You can tell about a sun, you can tell about a moon, you can tell about the stars, but you're going to want to know what time of day it is. So know how to tell time on an analog watch. That's number one. Number two, calculators. A lot of us use our smartphones for calculators, or we use the calculator on our computer. But, God forbid if the cloud, I always joke, I say, if the cloud ever goes down, that means it's really the end of days. But if we were to never,
everybody be dropping their head.
God forbid. So my point is this: if we never have anything digital, if Y2K ever decides to hit and we have nothing digital, you're still going to want to know how to count up your money. You're going to still want to know 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4. So in essence, what I'm trying to say, don't rely so heavily on AI that we forget how to think and operate for ourselves. Next slide. So calculators and watches. Think calculators and watches. Think sustainability. for you and your clientele base. And what this means is, and I share my story. We actually, so I've been doing digital, or I've been doing graphic design and web development, since the early 2000s. But I didn't become official with the government with that EIN number until 2019, right? Start paying those business taxes in 2020. Became official, launched the website, right, in 2019. And so then this little thing, not even little thing, this big thing called COVID-19 hit in 2020. And if you know anything about what happened in 2020 from a marketing standpoint, I was working with a marketing or an advertising agency in Eastern North Carolina. And so I was doing, graphic designs for not just digital designs, but also the newsprint. And so you had businesses in 2020 that were afraid to market because, I don't even think at that point, the PPP loan was being offered at that time, but you had businesses that were afraid to advertise. I had one business owner tell me, look, I promised my employees that I wouldn't let anybody go. So basically what that boiled down to is that they were not going to invest any advertising dollars, no marketing dollars into the advertising business. So at that point, advertising for the paper and digital marketing was kind of at a standstill in 2020 because you had businesses that just weren't sure what was going to happen next. There was some doubt, there was some fear, just not knowing, because this is new for pretty much all of us. And so my question is, if something that major were to ever happen again, how would you survive? How would your clientele survive? So we have to think sustainability. Okay. And one of the things, you can go to the next slide. One of the things that I'm so proud of, as I mentioned before, we launched officially in 2019. One of the things that, you can go to the next slide, is that the Master's Touch was in a position, we'll go to the next slide, I'll come back to that, in a position to help other businesses stay in business. So you can go to the next slide. Being proactive versus reactive, connecting with your clientele base. And so I was in a position to help businesses stay in businesses that were able to help other businesses, if you can understand the domino effect. And so we talked about this earlier. Be a problem solver. And if, like Ms. Sharon said earlier, don't back yourself into a corner and say yes to a contract just because you want to get that money. We want to make money moves, but we want to be smart about it. So we can go to the next slide. So even if you can't solve the problem, even if you don't have the skill set to handle what it is that a potential client is asking for, be a resource. If you can't do it yourself, know how to get the job done. I don't necessarily know how to fix a leaky faucet or a leaky commode, but I know how to contact a plumber, or I may not know how to fix a car, but I know there's an oil leak. I know where to take my car to get that oil. So be a resource for your clients, and the truth of the matter is, you may lose out on that particular project or that contract at that time, but they will remember you that, hey, they might not been able to work on whatever my problem was at that time, but they were a resource for me. They networked for me. They connect me to someone or to the business that was able to get the job done for me. They will remember you. We can go to the next slide.
Hey, and Mark, can we get the next slide, please? Oh, there you go.
All right. I thought it was just delayed on my side.
Mhm.
Okay, so there we go. Talking about being proactive versus reactive. And so I teach this with my mentees a lot. Anticipate needs, offer suggestions, make your clientele feel like they're number one and the only one. When you're in a relationship, don't you want to feel like you're the only one? You know? I see you, Miss Sharon. Want to feel like you're the only one, not just the number one, but the only
one.
The only one. And so what that translates to, meaning don't necessarily wait for them to call you about ideas. Yes, they have a vision and you want to help bring their vision to light. I'm talking to, my graphic designers and my web developers right now. Your clientele base, they have a vision and you want to help them with the branding for their business. But be thinking for them and suggest ideas and even things that will help enhance their business, help grow profit margins for them. Again, they will appreciate the fact that you're even thinking about them and reaching out to them before they reach out to you. You can go to the next slide. And Miss Sharon, if I'm going over time, you just let me know.
How many more slides you have? Do you know?
It should just be about 5 or 6 more that are relevant. But I want
to get your commercial in. So I want you to do this one, and let's get the commercial in. Let's do this.
This sounds good.
I like online learning.
Online learning. Well, this is a client of mine, Level Next Training and Life Coach Institute, and you can go to the next slide as well, which is should be the ACE Center, I believe. And so these are 2 clients that I was proud to be in a position where I was able to help them keep their doors open during the pandemic. So long story short, Level Next Training and Life Coaching Institute, or Life Coach Institute, they had a physical building. And of course, you all know 2020 was a year where a lot of things shut down. We went remote. And so I was in a position to help them take their physical meeting space for other businesses. So if you can imagine, they had a meeting space where they had businesses and organizations held conferences, meetings, not just, weddings and things like that, but just, training and things like that. So I was able to help them move that physical space to an online space. And I'm very proud that the Master's Touch was able to do that for them. And as a result, I'm going to say a rebirth of their other website, the the ACE Center, which is the Arts Conference Event Center in Steeple Square in Knightsdale. You can go to the next slide. In Knightsdale, North Carolina. And so we're very, very proud that we were able to be there and support them through the pandemic. And you can go to the next slide. That's their contact information. So we revamped their Arts Conference Event Center post 2020, but the Level Next site is, Mr. Ban. Yeah, we love Mr. Ban. Yes, and Mrs. Ban. They're awesome clients of mine. And so, like I said, we're just proud that we were in a position to be able to support them so that they were able to support other businesses. And so image versus branding. We talked about this earlier. You can go to the next slide. Just remember that you are the face of your business. You, like Jay-Z said, he's not a businessman, he's a business man. So remember that you are the face of your business. Image can make you, but branding is lasting. Like we were talking about with those logos earlier in our conversation. I think I got all of them. Miss Sharon said she doesn't eat out that much, so she didn't know quite some of them.
But I do enough of them to say, hey, they branded enough. Yes.
You do a lot. But so branding is important. It's lasting. And we see that. We see that with like McDonald's. We know anywhere in the world you go, you see those golden arches, you're thinking about French fries. That's effective marketing right there. And they have a great product. So Referrals are your friend. Remember, quality over quantity. You don't always have to say yes. Quality over quantity. And when I mean by referrals are your friends, some people will wonder, like, Mia, why don't you have social media? I actually took my social media pages down because I said I'm going to invest that creative energy into my clients, and I spend my time and my energy pushing their business. And the fact that, because their success is my success. I don't succeed unless my clients succeed. So the fact that I'm pushing their branding out there, my business is literally 95% referral. You can go to the next slide. So referrals just aren't my friend, they are my best friend. Next slide, please. And we are almost done. Just 5 quick things I want to share regarding effective, the one before that are 5 characteristics. All right, the customer is your hero. Because without them, where would we be, right?
Right.
Remember in your marketing campaigns to have clear, defined goals. So when you have your client or when you have a vision meeting with your potential client, this is a time where you are actually listening. And then what they're telling you as far as what their visions and their ideas are, regurgitate it back to them. Communication is key because you want to make sure that you're understanding what it is that they're conveying to you so that you can be.
Yeah, we only have 30 seconds. I want you just to give them the topic because I want to end the show with your commercial.
Yes, awesome.
And then you can come back. Give them the other 3. We're going to end the show, Mark, with her commercial because that's what I want people to remember the show to be.
There it is. All right. Clear, defined goals. They're the hero. Have highly targeted messaging. Make it relevant. And then make sure that you're targeting the right audience. Okay. And then lastly, make sure that it's integrated. You have multi-channels that you're using. All of social media, YouTube, emails, radio, TV. Don't forget newsprint. Newsprint is not dead. Okay.
Let me say something. Can we bring you back just with those 5 slides and just talk about those 5 slides?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I want to end the show with your video because I want to give you that. But then we're going to bring her back just for this one slide because I think this needs to be a section by itself. How about that?
Yes, ma'am. Awesome. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now, to run away, Mark, can you end the show with her and then we're coming back with those 5 slides? Okay. I want everybody to see your work. Does she have another video, Mark? Hey, everyone, we will have Mia back with the 5 characteristics of effective marketing. We'll see if we can do this on a Saturday. I want to thank you for the Pain to Prosper show. This is Sharon Campbell, and we had a fantastic day. Mark, thank you so very much for all. We're going to bring Mia back. I'm going to see if I can get her on a Saturday. We're only going to do this one slide, and I'm going to make sure we really push it that people are sitting there with their pen and paper. You have anything else, Mia, to add?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome sauce. I just want to thank you again. Thank you to your loyal audience for listening to me go on and on and on about my passion. I appreciate you. There's so much that to still share, and I could just talk about it all day, really. So anytime you want to talk and chat, I'm yours for however long.
Okay. We're going to do a Saturday on this slide right here.
Okay,
this is and then we'll pick other slides. Thank you so very much, Mark. Thank you for sticking in there with us. We appreciate it. Mia, I'll be calling you for that Saturday. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone. Good night.
You too. Thank you. Good night.